Hey guys, so today we will continue working on OpenArthurianX6, resuming work from yesterday on the item containers. So let's just start the project. If you remember what we had yesterday, we managed to recover the work that Camilo did last year on the inventories, but today we are going to do some cleanup before diving into making that completely functional. What we have right now is we have some draggable containers, and you can also drag items from one container to the other, I believe. Yeah, we need to first hold on a second, evaluate where we are. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to load the other map because that's the one that has more items on. So that's here in the configuration of the scenario. We are going to start at Ayala's house. Let's rebuild that here. We also need to figure out a way or decide what to do with the keyboard input. But anyways, one thing at a time. Right now you can get stuff, and in the inventory there are the items. You can drag them. I don't think, well, I think something happened there. I just dropped that into the world, but it just was lost. I believe accidentally you can open more than one container at a time, but we need to have that happen in a more controlled way. But right now, let's see if we have more than one party member. We can open the inventory, the main inventory, and then leave this mode. This is the accidental part that is right now, because when we leave the inventory mode, the windows are not closing, and then we can switch to another character and open his inventory. And oh, let me do that again. I screwed up because of the buggy keyboard handling there. But right now we can open the inventory, leave the inventory mode, go to the other character and open his inventory, and then we can we drag things from one container to the other? It seems we can. And once we close this, and does the item remain on his inventory? It seems to. So yeah, so well, where to start? I mean, first off, I know that there's a lot of code that is dead because we now have like a duplicate class. We have the container class and we have the inventory class, and inside the inventory we have lots of logic that is no longer being used. So that's one thing that we should eventually clean. There's also some draggable logic here, which I don't believe is being used because right now everything should be in the container class. This is actually not a class, it's just an object. So it's been called like statically, like inventory dot something. Especially, let's see where. So we are like setting the inventory, the actual items to be shown whenever we trigger the show inventory command. But yeah, let's just create like a list of things to do. We need to somehow fix keyboard handling on inventory mode. We need to be able to go to inventory mode by double clicking a container, and that seems to be, well, we need to add containers. I don't know what Camilo managed to do, but the idea was that, for example, this was a container, these barrels, so we need to do that. Add or mark objects as containers, world objects as containers, including setting up their initial contents. Also open or go to, I don't know how to call this mode. It's no longer going to be like the inventory mode. It's more of a item transferring mode when double clicking a container, including party members. I believe that should be it. I don't think there's any other cases, just party members or containers in the map. And right now I believe, let me confirm that, but I believe, yeah, well, that's not, no, that's my inventory. Yeah, that's buggy. Right now it's opening the inventory, but always for the current mob. So yeah, when double clicking a container, including party members, and when on item transferring mode, well, this is more like a special case here. When on item transferring mode, you should be able to open additional containers. Yeah, if I'm like already checking the inventory for one party member, I should be able to open a new party member and check his inventory, or another container. Now, how to leave this item transferring mode, and when we leave the item transferring mode, should all the container pop-ups go away? I believe that should be the case. So yeah, allow leaving item transferring mode using escape, or when all container pop-ups are closed. Right now it seems it's super buggy, because when you close this window, it's correct. I mean, when there's a single inventory window, it seems to work fine. But if I don't close it, if I click escape, I leave the inventory mode, but the pop-up doesn't close, and there's already a sort of windowing system here, because I see that the depth of the pop-ups is kept correctly. I saw that yesterday while checking this. When I click one of them, they go on top of the other. That is great. We also need to add some way to scroll, or confirm if there's already a way, but I don't think there is. Allow scrolling. Remember this. Go to item transferring mode when double clicking a container, including party members. You should also being able to open containers that are inside other containers, right? So for example, if I have a bag here, I should be able to double click on it and then a new container should show up. Yeah. Allow scrolling through the contents of a container. So there should be, if this container has more than 30 items, I should be able to, there should be some buttons here to scroll through the entire list. What else? I don't think that should be it, like for the basic functionality of this. Yeah. So, well, about the ordering of this, I think we can do this containers thing afterwards. For now, let's just make it so that we can transfer items between party members. Oh, we also need to allow dropping items. Well, or should we not allow transferring items to a container in the map, right? So something like if there's this thing here, I should be able to move stuff into it if I am close. And also dropping stuff, but also to close location. Allow dropping items by dragging them into the world. Validate distance. Validate distance for this and this. And yeah, some go to item transferring mode when double clicking a container. So let's split this when double clicking a party member, and also when double clicking a container. When on item transferring mode, you should be able to open additional containers. So let's do this first. Yeah, that's like a plan. So item transferring plan. All right, what happened there? What? Okay, go to item transferring mode when double clicking a party member. Well, actually, this is easier than we are already kind of doing that. Because we are already going to the current inventory mode. So yeah, let's begin by renaming that inventory mode to item transferring mode. And let's check where it's being used. Reset after look. Well, what's this? Okay, so this is called in many places. After the look command is done, after another kind of look command is done, so we are kind of, actually we should not be doing this manually. Oh, it's because of the inventory callbacks. The inventory callbacks are some. So we have this concept at least until now of the action callback and the inventory callbacks, but I was thinking on also removing that because they are like some handlers that we are adding and removing, and they are very tied to the actual state of the of the player state machine, or the player input state machine. That's what this should be actually named. I believe we can also think on removing this for now. So let's do that. I'm going to not use this inventory callbacks, and actually, since we're using the container class now, I doubt they are being used. So yeah, if I remove that, this becomes not needed. Same for this. I can remove this ugly thing. I can remove this too. And that's like one less usage of the inventory state that was here. Alright, so that's one. The other one is when we activate inventory, and actually this is, we're switching, yeah, this would be like the main switch. I am going to go ahead and also use the party member index here instead of the active mob. That will allow us to also open the inventory for other party members. I thought this was actually going to be like the main change here. So instead of using the active mob, we need to check the party. Here's the party, here it is, and we can use the party member index here, and then open the backpack of that party member, and yeah, and then let's use the new one here, item transferring. Okay, let's see what other usages of it are. This is commented, this is commented, and this is, what is this? Okay, so this is the actual update call, which is checking currently for some keys and also for the dragging. We need that to be up to date as well. Okay. All right. So with this, we should be able to see the inventory of the other party members when we click on them. So if I click on Iolo, he's got nothing. Well, something happened with the, I wonder if it did not transition correctly at all. Okay, what happened here? Activate inventory with no why -1? Let's remove this -1. Well, where else are we calling activate inventory? Send in a party member index. This should actually be 0 based. I don't know why we are subtracting one. Well, there's some logic here. I think we can So where does the party member index come from? Index of the mob on the party. Yeah, we need to fix this. So there's a thing, there's a list of mobs that is the party, and I think what we are doing is I'm going to have to get a headset. So yeah, sorry if there's a lot of noise. I'm going to so we have 0 is like the player itself, and then there are the party members. So we need to have that special case there on the where we did the change. This activate inventory. If the party member is 0, yeah. If party member index is 0, then the mob is going to be the player, else it's going to be one of the party members. Okay. And if we click on him, like this, well, he continued moving. That's not good, because that means that it didn't swap to the inventory or the item transferring mode. That's not good at all. So, okay, let's try something else. If I click on myself, can I still move? I cannot move. But if I click on a party member, well, he's not a party member yet. Why? Well, I still cannot move. This is a bit buggy. So clicking on a, let's see where this transition is made. Activate inventory is done in the following places. So reset floating item, I don't know what that is. I don't remember what that is. When I click the I key, when I click F keys, like F1, F2, when I click on a mob, or when I click on the player, and it seems like when I click on the player or when I click on a mob, the logic is very similar, just different mob, but we should still be switching to the item transferring mode. But well, the difference here is that maybe some problem with the inventory callbacks. I'm not sure. Not really sure. So let's go away from him. Does he have nothing? He probably doesn't have any item. But when we are unable to close the now we are stuck. It gets worse and worse. We're going to have to debug what's going on there. So click on myself, activate the inventory for party member 0, and that's the player. We open the backpack of the player and we switch state to the state 6. Now this handler, where is that? It should be somewhere in container, close button or something like that. This dot close. Well, interesting. It doesn't seem to do anything related to the actual state. So maybe that's being called somewhere else. I see that here is, the event is just checking if the click is inside the close button and then it's calling close. Let's see something here. So when we close this, who called that? Okay. Oh, player. This is where the transition happens. Where is this? Okay, so this is in the update inventory action. So we should not be checking just the player, but the active backpack, or actually the backpack where the event happened. What is inventory? Okay, inventory container. Yeah. Here we need to, well, we can do one of the items that we have here. We are going to need to do that, I believe. Right now, because it's being buggy, we need to allow living items transfer in mode using escape, or when all the containers pop-ups are closed. Let's do that now. Yeah, here we need to check if all the current containers are closed instead of just the player's backpack. That's what left us in that dead mode. So what would be the best? Okay, so the UI seems to have like a list of containers. So let's check if UI doesn't have any container open. What? Has containers open. If that is not the case, then we switch to the world state. We should actually be able to just reset the state, but let's leave it like that for now. Let's implement this before I forget. So there's something about containers already. We don't seem to need this. Requires now. Open containers. Okay, so we can just has open containers, and it's going to just be something like this. Okay, that should work. That should work so that whenever a container is closed, we are I think I removed something that I should not have removed. Oh, all right, so here's where actually we are checking in every click if the mouse button was, if the close button was clicked. Let's leave it like this. I also wanted to check into this clear direction callback. We are also going to remove that eventually. For now, let's not do anything about it. Okay. Container.close. Build them up. It's creating a new container and then it's closing it because it starts closed, I guess, but it still has no group. Oh, this is just a breakpoint. Forget it. Okay, so we open the inventory. And we close the inventory. And well, the actual window did not close. And that is weird because the actual events to close it, to make its group not visible, should have been called. But at least, well, at least the body, hold on a second, it should have closed. Let's check again. Here we are. It's not calling close, but it's being hidden. And now I cannot go to inventory mode. There's something weird here. I don't believe this clicking logic is good. I mean, I don't understand what's happening there. It's like on the update inventory action, this happens once every frame when we are in inventory mode. It's checking if the mouse pointer is up. And it is up, but we haven't clicked. It's just up. And inside this, it's checking if the cursors were released. Oh, this is okay. I still don't understand why it's happening. I mean, that clicking logic is a bit weird there, but let's just fix this for now. Okay, at least it's kind of working now. Let's go ahead and try to have more than one container open. So we click on him. Can I click on myself? No, that's what we're going to add. But if we leave the inventory mode Oh, we cannot do that now. No, we cannot do that now. Why? I don't know. But we can't. So okay. So we will have to implement the other thing before we can test if the second task that we're doing. So we are opening this inventory when we click on the player or on a mob. That's happening again. That's happening here. Click on mob when we left click on him, but we are only doing this if the player state is only if we are in the world input state. So we should be able to also do this on the item transferring state, and just like trying to, this is like an initial approach. Probably will be refactoring this later. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to work well as in additional backpacks opening, but I think we can check here if the I mean to not open it if it was already open. Well, yeah, I don't think we'll have any. Well, we are adding a new container. Yeah, we're going to need some logic here. So if it's already open, don't do anything. If this is really visible, don't do anything, because you don't have to do anything. Yeah, that should work. So again, and this will also allow you to look into okay, this has an additional check here. That's okay. So yeah, save all. Click on myself, close. Click on myself, I enter inventory mode. Click on this guy, great. Now can we move? We cannot move. Let's close this one, we still cannot move. And we close this one, and we are back to movement. So I think we can check this one. Well, what about escape? We need that part. Checking this guy's inventory, press escape, buggy. Yeah, escape is not working. So escape key. If I click escape, all the containers should close. So escape, we have a handler for escape, which is called cancel action, like an input handler, and we are also checking here manually. I don't like that, but yeah, this is like a special case. So inside this handler, we are calling so alright, so we are using the action callbacks and the direction callbacks. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, because maybe we can start like not using them for all states. So just if this current state, I forgot how to get the current state, or to see what state we're on. There's that. So let's do something here. If for cancel action, if the state is item transfer ring, then we're going to do some stuff. Else, let's use what we already had there. And I'm doing it this way because else I will have to migrate how everything works with the action and the direction callbacks, and that's not something that I'm going to do now. So yeah, if we are transferring, there we will no longer be transferring, and ultimately we're going to reset the state. Let's do that, and then we are also going to need to close the containers. We can do that too now. That's simple. So should I close them or should I remove them? Is that the same? Well, remove them just removes them from the list, and this is probably being used by the close. Okay, so I can just close them and then it will remove them. So let's do that. Okay. Doesn't know what UI is. Let's use the static reference that we're keeping here. Yeah, F1. Oh, it only closed one. What? One at a time? Alright, that's because of the logic on the yeah. It's because of this logic, which is index based. Ah, great. Great. Looks like we'll have to manually. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, so when we're closing the first one, it's calling remove container, and then it's being removed. Actually, there should not be an issue here. Why is it not working? Great. So let's see. Close all containers. For each open container, there are two of them. We are calling close, and close will call remove container. So right now we still have two. Remove one of them, so now we have one, and that was only called once, which is weird because we had so is the close function being called twice? So for the first container, we still have two containers here. Oh, it's because it's being concurrently modified, and the index is now 1. Yeah, that's what's going on. So it's not calling close to the other for the other one. Yeah, what shall we do here? That sucks. Yeah, the problem is that open containers is being modified by this function, but we are already on the for each loop. So yeah, I think what we need to do here is just create a shallow copy of it. That sounds like so wasteful, but I think that should be what we do. How to do that? I always forget how to do that. Oh, a slice, okay. Slice with no parameters, I think, yeah. Optional and optional, okay. Right, that should do. Alright, that worked, but we cannot move now. So that's because, what state are we on? Maybe this call should not be done. Maybe we need to reset the action callbacks, because right now there's no action callback. Let's see what's on the action callbacks now. Oh, so there's no action callback, that's why we cannot move. Where were they removed? So remove container doesn't do anything about it. So we should kind of mimic what happens when we are checking if all containers are open. Clear direction callback. What does this do? Well, let's just copy that there. I forgot what it was. So here, instead of calling reset state, we're going to replicate that. Not really sure about it, but that seems to be a good way to do it. But the weird thing is that let's see something. It seems like it worked for when a single container was open, but not when two containers were open. Well, now it seems to work fine. We also need these containers to be positioned better. I believe there was a to-do there. Yeah, it should actually be pretty simple. And we can do it now. We can check if there's a container at that position, and if there's a container there, which is like the default position, then try to put them in a cascade layout. Yeah, something like this is more of a responsibility of the UI. And actually, this can be done here. If the containers are there, we do nothing. If it's not, we push it. But we also locate it. So we look in the containers. If there's a container at this position, then we try a bit deeper. If not, we don't do anything. And then we set the position of this guy to this should work unless there's more than one container in this position, which would be like a weird case. Let's do this the old-fashioned way. Yeah, we need to be able to break here, so to make it less convoluted, we only continue the loop if this happens. This should do it, hopefully. Ah! Okay. Ah, what happens? Oh, okay. Well, it didn't work. Oh, there's a problem here. I believe it's because I was in the door. So I was actually clicking the door, not the player. Let's retry this. Well, they keep their positions, which is good, I believe. I mean, if you have like already placed them somewhere, I believe it will be good to have them being restored there the next time you open them, instead of being placed again. So let's open this one, and then this one kind of worked, but it was placed below. That logic of placing them in front of each other, I'm not sure how it's done. Not sure if it's using the rendering order or some kind of Z index. Dragging, syncing inventory items, initializing the grid. Yeah, somewhere there's a logic that when you click one of these, it changes the order. I don't know where it's happening. Maybe somewhere inside this drag. I don't know. Not sure where that's happening. Let's leave them like that for now so we can advance a bit more in this stream. Oh, this stream is over. Alright, so I guess that will be it. I'm going just to wrap up this, and let's put that pending stuff here. So go to item transferring mode when double clicking. Well, actually we're just left clicking, but I believe that will be it. Allow leaving item transferring mode using escape or when all the containers pop-ups are closed. This is also done. And we are going to add something here, and it is place the newly opened container pop-ups on top of existing pop-ups. But that will be the next time. Let's commit this. So what do we have here? We can remove this comment here. can delete this. Well, actually, I am not going to delete that until we find out what we're going to do with the keyboard. What to do about it? I'm not sure. But the inventory callbacks, will they be used again? I'm going to remove this and this. Yeah, let's clean up all this and then figure out how to fix the mess. And I believe that should be it, so I can just copy this here. Right. So I think that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow.